murder, greed, and scandal. Wait, I thought today's topic was going to be golf. Hi there, everyone. It's Jeff, and this is Plain English, lesson number 482 on July 4th, 2022, Independence Day here in the United States as we celebrate our 246th birthday. Check out lesson 62 to learn how we celebrate the 4th of July. Coming up today, there's a wedge in professional golf, and I don't mean a pitching wedge or a sand wedge. There's a split in the sport between players who've entered a new tournament and those who are staying behind. And it's all tied up in global politics, greed, with a side of murder and torture. Yes, again, this is golf we're talking about. In the second half of the lesson, I'll show you how to use the phrase pass up. And we have a quote of the week. This one is from Bill Gates. Let's get going. It is often said that golf is the gentleman's game. With very limited exceptions, you don't see golfers use profane language or get angry with other people on the course. You don't see them break their clubs. They don't tend to get into bar fights. They're not involved in shootings. There are very few allegations of domestic abuse, again, with limited exceptions. Where in other sports, cheating is encouraged or at least tolerated, it's prohibited in golf, and the players respect the rules. Brands feel safe endorsing golfers because, again, with limited exception, they tend to be free of scandals that often mar athletes in other sports. The PGA Tour organizes most, but not all, of the golf tournaments on American television. The PGA Tour tends to be a very gentlemanly organization that prizes tradition and respect. But the tranquility of professional golf has been shattered thanks to an upstart league called LIV Golf. The controversy is that this new league is backed by the government of Saudi Arabia. Several organizations that study human rights rank Saudi Arabia among the worst abusers in the world. This is the same government that was behind the assassination of a journalist, Jamal Khashoggi, which you heard about in lesson 97. In Saudi Arabia, women face harsh discrimination. They make up only 5% of the workforce, and they don't have the same civil rights as men. Homosexuality is illegal. Political speech is restricted. Torture is common for political opponents of the government. Punishment is extremely harsh. People who commit adultery can be put to death by beheading, firing squad, or by other gruesome measures. The Saudi government is attempting to change its reputation as a harsh abuser of human rights. not by, stopping the abuse of human rights, but by staging large events that distract people from its record. So it started its own golf league. LIV Golf, which is spelled LIV, is named after the Roman numerals that make up the number 54, the total number of holes that are played in a LIV Golf tournament. Most professional golf tournaments are 4 rounds of 18 holes each. The LIV tournaments feature just 3 rounds of 18 holes for 54 in total. In this, its first year, there are 8 tournaments, 5 in the United States, 1 in England, 1 in Thailand, and 1 in Saudi Arabia itself. But a golf league would be of no use to Saudi Arabia without famous golfers playing in the tournaments. So to attract golfers, the league offered direct, guaranteed payments to some famous players. The payments are eye-popping. Let me put this in perspective. Most golfers make money by winning championships. If you win, you get a lot of money. If you come near the top, you get some good money too. If you finish near the bottom, you get only a little or nothing at all. LIV Golf offers richer payoffs, including higher prizes for winners and a minimum payout of $120,000 even for a last place finish. And the tour dangled lucrative guaranteed payments to lure the sport's biggest stars into the tournaments. Take Phil Mickelson, nicknamed Lefty, and one of the most popular players in the sport. In his 30-year career, he has won $95 million in prize money, a nice career. He has earned the second most prize money of all time after Tiger Woods. $95 million over a 30-year career. Saudi Arabia's league paid him $200 million just to play in 8 tournaments this year and 10 next year. He doesn't even have to win. Dustin Johnson has won $74 million in prize money in his career. He's getting $150 million from the Saudis, again, just to play in these tournaments, not to win, just to play. Bryson DeChambeau, Sergio Garcia, and Ian Poulter also signed on to the new league. The decision to join or not join has torn golf apart, leaving golfers on either side of a nasty divide. On the one side, some players get to increase their earnings and play less, but the money comes from a tainted source. On the other side, players may make less money and stay with the traditional tournaments. Mickelson explained his decision succinctly. He wanted to disrupt the game of golf and join an upstart league that could, he said, be better for golfers in the long run by paying players more. And, he said, although he didn't like the human rights record of Saudi Arabia, this opportunity was too good to pass up. Dustin Johnson said he was doing it for his family. This is barely disguised code for he's doing it for the money. Blowback on Mickelson, Johnson, and others was swift. They were accused of helping Saudi Arabia sports wash its reputation. These players, critics feel, are helping Saudi Arabia clean up its horrid reputation just by paying money to host sporting events. By taking the money, many fans feel these players are complicit in Saudi Arabia's behavior. Longtime sponsors dropped their affiliations with LIV Tour golfers. The PGA Tour suspended the players who went to this new league. While Mickelson, Johnson, and others can enter some other tournaments, they'll be barred from joining the majority of North American tournaments this year. Golfers who didn't join the new league had some criticism for those who jumped ship. Rory McIlroy said he didn't see why they would tarnish their reputation for extra millions, especially after having earned so much. There is a viewpoint that people in sports have been doing this same thing for a long time. The Olympics in China, the World Cup in Qatar, the Saudi government owning Newcastle United in the English Premier League, all the other Russian oligarchs or Middle Eastern princes who own soccer teams, whatever. And there's always this sense in the background that people sell their teams to these guys, or they put a tournament in a place because the money is too good. Human rights are a real problem in Qatar too, especially for all the migrant workers who built the stadiums in this empty, scorching desert. But this is rarely said out loud. FIFA didn't say, we put the World Cup in Qatar because they bribed us to do it. And football team owners don't say, sure, your beloved local team will be owned by a Russian oligarch now, and that's terrible, but at least I got a lot of money. People don't say that out loud. You know it's true, but it's unspoken. Well, here, Dustin Johnson, Phil Mickelson, they basically came right out and said they're doing it for the money and they don't care about where the money came from. And that part, the saying it out loud, is why people are more upset than, say, they were with the Olympics in China or the 2014 Olympics in Russia or whatever. Oh boy. Today, I'm going to show you how to use the phrasal verb pass up. To pass something up is to purposely not take an opportunity. We often use it with the word opportunity or with the word chance. There are two ways to use it. We can say pass up the chance to, or pass up the opportunity to, and then a verb. Or we can simply say pass up the chance or pass up an opportunity. The road to being an elite athlete is long and difficult. At an early age, kids have to decide how much time they will dedicate to practicing their sports. To train to be an athlete at the highest level, you have to pass up other opportunities in life. That means you must choose not to do other things so that you can focus on your sport. You might have to pass up the opportunity to do other activities, such as play a musical instrument. But it works the other way around too. Other kids will make different choices. Maybe they're good athletes, but they pass up the opportunity to pursue their dreams in athletics so they can focus on their studies or just have a normal childhood. I mentioned that I watched the series Emily in Paris. In that series, an experienced manager of a company in Chicago passed up the chance to live in Paris, and she sent Emily instead. Why did that manager pass up the opportunity to move to Paris? She was pregnant and she didn't want to have her baby and then take her parental leave in another country. So she passed up the opportunity to go to Paris, and she gave that opportunity to the character Emily. It's very common to use pass up when talking about an opportunity that's so good that you can't possibly refuse it. For Emily, the opportunity to go to Paris for a year was too good to pass up. That means the chance was too good. There's no way she could say no. It's just too good to pass up. I had an opportunity like that at work back in 2012. I had never had much interest in traveling to India. It just never caught my attention. But my company at the time needed someone to go to India for a month to teach employees there about how we do our work. And I thought that was too good to pass up. I mean, when else, realistically, would I have an opportunity not just to travel to India, but to work there in that culture? So I went and I had an amazing time and made great friends there that I know and keep in touch with to this day. It was too good to pass up. The opportunity was too good. I couldn't say no. And that is how I used it in today's lesson. Phil Mickelson and other pro golfers decided to take a mountain of cash from the government of Saudi Arabia. In exchange, they agreed to participate in the new LIV Golf Series tournaments. The players obviously knew the general character and nature of this government, human rights abuses, and all that. But they said this was too good an opportunity to pass up. The opportunity was too good, they couldn't say no. The players may tell you that this is a good opportunity to introduce some competition into golf so that other tours and other tournaments can work better and differently than the PGA Tour. However, their explanations are not exactly convincing. This was about the money. The money was too good to pass up. For them, and it was their choice, they decided they couldn't say no because of how much money was involved. Here's a quote today from Bill Gates, one of the co-founders of Microsoft. He said, "It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure." To heed the lessons of failure is to pay attention to and to learn from the times that you don't succeed. So once more, here it is. It's fine to celebrate success, but it is more important to heed the lessons of failure, according to Bill Gates. Well, speaking of Microsoft, did you see that Internet Explorer is finally retired? You can't get it anymore. It was the most popular web browser for 10 years before being overtaken by Chrome a few years back. Now Microsoft has another browser, Edge, and they've stopped supporting or updating good old IE. I saw a Korean web developer bought a gravestone, put the Internet Explorer logo on it, and marked the dates of IE's life, 1995 to 2022. And you know how on gravestones, there's sometimes a line or two describing the person who's buried below, like loving father or whatever. This one said, beneath the name Internet Explorer, he was a good tool to download other browsers. All right, that's all for us here at Plain English for today, July 4th, 2022. Happy Independence Day for those of you in the United States. Enjoy your day off. Be safe with the fireworks tonight, and we'll see you back here on Thursday for a new lesson.